Hi everyone, I'm Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty, and I have these fun, sweet notebooks to show you. We made these at an event I hosted, and so they were a big hit, and you can customize them however you want by changing up the papers, by changing up I did flowers here, but you can do anything you want. I use letters to put notes, but you can customize with someone's name or a stamp or however you want to do, but I just want to show you kind of how to put them together because they're kind of fun. So we are going to, and these are junior legal size notebooks. So I think it's 5 by 8 size notebook. I bought them, you can see at Staples, but you can get them at Amazon. You can get them at any office supply store. So I'm going to use, just so it's different. So this one, the base is Berry Burst. This one is Melon Mambo. This one I'm going to do Lemon Lime Twist. You almost called it the wrong color that we don't have anymore. All right, so we're going to use a whole sheet of paper. We don't have to cut this at all, but we do need to score it. So I'm going to score this kind of in half, but not at 5.5. We're going to kind of do right before 5.5 and right after 5.5. So I'm going to score it at 5 3/8 and then at 5 5/8. That 5.5 that we normally do, like when we cut in cards, would be right in that middle of the score line, but we need to have that kind of that binding area. So, and then I'm just going to fold it right on that score line here. And I'm going to just kind of give it a nice crease. And I'm going to fold this second line here. Sometimes that's a little harder after you have that first one. There we go. And give that a crease. All right, so there is the base of our notebook, just like that. So now we need to decorate it. So you can, like I said, you can decorate these however you wish, but I'm just going to show you how I did it with this cut area here. So I'm starting off with a piece of paper. I used, I think I'm going to use this side. I don't remember. This is from the, I think it's called Simply Zinnias designer paper, but again, you can use whatever you want. But it is, because I don't have it written down on this piece of paper, it is 5 1/4. I love having this ruler here. 5 1/4 by 7. Okay, so this piece of paper is 5 1/4 by 7. We're going to cut it. Here's the side. And I don't really have like an exact measurement how we're going to cut it. These are similar, but not exactly the same. You can kind of see the cuts, but we're just going to, we want it to be shorter here and wider here. So we're going to cut a diagonal. So I'm going to tilt it this way. So this is my shorter end, and this is my, you can see my wider end. If you had a pattern in here that you could pay attention so you didn't kind of cut it off exactly, but this pattern doesn't matter as much. So I have that, and that's going to elongate the paper that way. Certainly you could have done, you could just do a full sheet, but I kind of like this breakup here. So that's what that is. And before we put this on our notebook, I've cut some strips here. Now I have to decide. So like these will go under here, and we'll trim them off. And so I can either use the orange side, or I might use the flower side, just since we have flowers here. The flower side like that. So we're just going to add a little glue on the back here, and I will just put them on. So again, I'm just doing a tiny, hope you can see, just a tiny little, it's just a little glue. And I'm just going to have it so it's just a skinny little border. It's probably like 1/8 of an inch. Like that. And I'll trim that. So I think these are 6 inches long, and I did them longer so that I could trim them. I'm going to stick with this just because we have the yellow letters. I think it will match. All right, I'm doing about the same border. Now, if you did a wider border, if these were, I think you can see better on this one. If this is wider, then you might not have enough room for this, but if that happens, I'll show you what you can do. So you can still use these measurements for that purpose. All right, so now I'm going to trim. So just pay attention, you do have that diagonal line going. So I'm just going to trim straight up, turn it and trim. Kind of a good way of using up some scraps. Okay. All right, so now we have our top and our bottom. So we're going to just put the top on for right now. So this will go on our base like that. This one has bright colors to it, which is kind of fun. So I'm just going to keep that kind of that 1/8 of an inch border on the sides and the top. And I'm not going to put the bottom on yet because I need to put my letters, and I'm going to show you kind of what I did. So I have, this is the mini alphabet die, and it's kind of cool because you got all the letters on one piece. There are 2 other pieces that come with a set with some punctuation and some extra, not these letters, but other letters for different languages. And so I put, hopefully you can see, this is Lemon Lolly, and I put some adhesive strip backing on here, not strip, adhesive sheets, excuse me, backing. So I peeled it off, put it to one side, and then I even write on my die 3 by 5.5. So I know to cut my paper 3 by 5.5 as well as the same as that adhesive sheet. And I run that through my die cutting machine, and then I get letters. Some of them fell out, but you get these letters. So again, it has the sticky now on the back, and so I'm gonna pull out, let's see, N-O-T-E, oops, I'm getting more letters than I want, S. So some of the letters are duplicates, and some are not. Like there's 2 N's, there's 2 S's, 2 R's, 2 E's, and then you can, there's many different ways to kind of save them. For now I'm just putting them back in this bag, but I have a little organizational system I keep my extra letters in, so then when I need them I go look first before cutting. All right, but for now I'm just going to leave them in there. All right, leave that over here. This is a great thing because you can really customize a lot of things. So I'm going to stick these on first, but I'm going to start backwards. So I'm going to start with my S. I'm going to peel off. Actually, first I just noticed my glue. I'm going to put the cover on my glue so it doesn't clog. I just did a project and it clogged. So, all right, so now I'm going to peel this off, and you can glue the letters down, but it's nice. So you get this just peels right off, and now that's sticky. So I'm just going to put my S on there first, and then I'll make sure N-O-T-E-S. So now I'm going to do E, because if I didn't do it backwards, if I just guessed, and I happen to start the N over here, I would have run out of room. So by doing backwards, that means I can get it all in there. Same with if you're going to do somebody's name. You don't want to run out of room. I have 9 letters in my name, so it would take up a lot of room, and I wouldn't want to run out. the other thing with these, if you put them down, and you don't push them down yet, like I know that you can actually pick it up and move it before you seal it down, which is kind of nice. Make sure you have the spacing correct, and after I know it's good, then I'll give it a good press. All right. These are great for throwing in your pocketbook, taking to a quick meeting, having in your office. All right, so that space looks good. So now I'm going to give them a good press. So now they're down. And now we can put that on there. If for some reason you had a thicker, and I did make them, but I must move them because I was going to show you. If these were thicker and say you ran out of room, you could just trim the bottom off whatever measurement so that you don't have to touch this. So this can be moved down for whatever thickness you want. You can just shorten it. But that works how I have it. So now I can put this down. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I already cut out some flowers and leaves. And we're going to assemble these. So these are cut from, well, I didn't stamp, but it actually goes with the stamp set, the Simply Zinnias. But here are the dies. So some of them some of them outline the stamps, and then these ones are kind of act independently. So I used these ones right here to cut these flowers out. And so now, excuse me, and they just kind of go on top of each other. Kind of cool because they cut, but they also have like little impressions, the embossing. Trying to decide which one I want on top. I don't know if there's a right and a wrong way. I suppose that one goes on top because the middle's a little smaller. So then you get two little flower, or I should say inside options. I think I'll do that one. The adhesive sheets wouldn't have been a bad idea, but that, because it's tiny, but just little dabs of glue. And then this one. It's fun because you can make a whole bouquet of flowers. I love zinnias. I still have some zinnias growing for just a little bit longer, and then they'll be done. All right, so it really makes it pop. So I could go that way. I think I like it this way. I think I like the purple on top. And I did cut some leaves, so you might not see them too much because they're almost the same as the notebook there. All right, so I'm gonna just put a little glue. I might only use 2 leaves. That there. I'm gonna have my purple one up, and so these, you can pop them up with the dimensionals. These ones I did put flat just so, because sometimes you might not want your notebook to be too bumpy if it's going in a backpack or something. I'll just do that. And the glue will dry clear. So I'm gonna pick up some of that glue. There we go. So that's the front of the notebook. I have an extra leaf. And now we need to do the inside. So that will go in here. So I could just put the notebook in, but I think we need to jazz that up a little bit. So I've cut a piece of paper, and I think it's 2 by 5, but let me just check. It's 2 by 5 1/4. Oh, that's actually too wide. I think it needs to be 2 by 5. You can measure. Some notebooks might be slightly different. So yeah, I'm just going to make it 5. That's a hair smaller than 5. So just measure your notebook, oops, just to make sure. But I think generally 2 by 5 is the right dimension. You could use glue, or I'm actually going to use some tear and tape. I've done both, glue and tear and tape, but I'll just show you the tear and tape. It's a new one. Okay. So I'm just going to put it right along the edge of that black paper on my notebook, and I'm actually going to cut it. A lot of times you can just tear it, but I want to make sure it's a clean cut. Push it down, and then you're going to peel off the backing. You can decide which side you like better. This one has more colors. And we're going to put it on, but before I put it on, you could put it on flush. It's like this edge flush with this edge, but what if I know, oh no, well, when you rip off I'll just take it. If you rip off a piece of paper, you might be able to see a little bit of the paper, and that's fine. But if you don't want to see it, just have it go a little bit lower than that, so then that ripped paper will be kind of hidden underneath there. That's really nitpicky. But. All right, so then you're going to flip your paper over and just kind of roll your paper around the edge there, and you can put tear and tape down again. This time I'm going to put it on the edge of the paper. This one I'll just tear, because this is just going to go on the back. And just roll it around and stick it. And so now you can either put tear and tape here, or you can use glue. I'll just do glue because it's faster. Both are strong. Just careful when you pick it up. And so now I'm just going to place it down on the inside cover and give it a good press. And doesn't that look much better than when if it just had that blue mark? So now you have this fun decorated notebook. So I'll show you those other two again. Close this one up, and I'll show you. So this one, it's a little busy, but I think it's kind of fun. I think the darker colors kind of center it a bit. And then I did the fun green on the inside. This one has that green. I just love the chartreusey green lemon lime twist on the front, and then it has a different pattern on that side. And then this one we just made like that. So you can see they're all kind of different and same at the same time. Make sure they're all on screen there for you to see. And again, this is all done with the zinnias paper, but you can use any paper. You can use any cutouts. I've done lighthouses before. I've done hummingbirds. You can do anything you want, but now you have the kind of the basics of the notebook. So I hope you like the project. They make wonderful gifts. So I hope you like it. Let me know if you need any supplies to make them, or if you have any questions. You can check me out at mailsomethingpretty.com. Thanks. Have a great day.